Welcome to Insight Builder channel. How to get your own LLMs like Text-Davinci. Step-by-step guide, and there is no need of any API keys. We'll be working on Alpaca 7B model from Hugging Face. If you are new to large language models, and if you are unaware of how large language models works, how the ecosystem around the large language model is currently, take a look at this playlist that is shown here, and especially the revolutionizing the prompt engineering. Take a look at that video. You will get a good idea about LangChain library as well as the large language models that is available currently. You might be you seeing this video when you are searching about large language models, or you would have been searching about how artificial intelligence like ChatGPT or GPT-4 is modifying this world. And you might also have some kind of idea or thought process in your mind to interface your existing products, or you have some new idea of the product also, and you want to understand how to make that idea a reality. That is that could be your objective that you have started researching. So this particular part of the video, this is a two-part video. This particular part of the video will explain the basics of actually getting hold of your own large language models, so that you can work in a way that you see fit. That is the objective of this video. Why will you want your own large language models? What is the benefits of it? This particular slide that you are seeing in front of you is explaining that. You see, there are almost seven different products or services that we interface day in and day out, starting with the internet and ending with cloud infrastructure, and the various programming libraries that are interfacing with all these products and services. This is already available with us. This is existing today. Large language models came into existence in almost 6 months back. So in October last year, September October range, they started coming out at rapid pace, and a lot of new, innovative models started getting developed, and the outputs were looking better. So before that, large language models were mostly in the research phase. But now it has come to the reality, and we know that we can connect the large language models with the services that we saw here. The services like laptop, server files, Word, Excel, PDF, PowerPoint files, email and chat, your internet, anything and everything can be connected with the large language model. Now, and large language models, what they do, they take all these things and give output as numbers or text or pictures. And all these things, text, numbers, and pictures, are represented inside the large language models as simply numbers. They are not represented as text, or they are not represented as actual text or actual ideas or anything. They are just numbers. What is the challenge with current LLM offering? There are almost 28 to 30 different services and companies, including OpenAI, Google, uh, Hugging Face, Cohere, Cerebrium. There are so many companies offering LLMs. But what is the challenge? The main challenge that I, made this video for is the API key and the rate limits that they enforce. Second, that is the first challenge. API key, they have some kind of password protection, and you have to have their API key to use their service. Yes, it is good because they have to take their returns out. So it's all well and done. I'm okay with that. However, when we are learning, let us go to the point five. When we are learning, if you are going to in budget, it's going to be a challenge for us. We have to learn in such a way that we can experiment as fast as possible. Okay, coming to the second point, technology is not open. When the how the large language model is made to give such a awesome result is not known to anybody. So we see a lot of large language models right now, like GPT-4, and also Google is coming up with Bart, and various other large language models are out there. But how will we know how the actual model is made to become so good. The technology is not open. When it comes to the next step, fine tuning, you might, if you're new to this particular ecosystem, you may not have heard of fine tuning. Fine tuning is an act of improving the model, that is already improving the large language model with your data, the data that you have got in your own organization, in your own applications. Those data is pushed into the large language model, and the large language model is improved. That is what fine tuning is about. But this fine tuning takes a lot of cost, not just in terms of money, but in terms of energy and also climate impact also. So that is the third point. Fourth point, if you are a company who is trying to develop your own product, you will want your organization, your engineers, your developers to have indigenous knowledge. They should know how to manipulate the large language models as if they have developed it. Yeah, even though they have not developed, they should have that capability to come up to speed at a rapid pace. So this is a challenge when it comes to not having the large language model in your hands. So all these are the challenges that I really want to address in this video. So to give you a brief, and then in the next video I will show you using the Google Colab notebook how it works. And also, there is one more point I wanted to highlight, that when the large language model is connected to all these seven or eight different services that I have shown here, what will happen is there will be lots and lots of abstraction and products, new services will come up in the future, near future. And by next year, at the same time, by the next year, you will see that there will be some 200 different products which is interfacing with so many different services that you day in and day out work. If you This is the very basic video. If you know how this is happening by looking at this video, how much ever abstraction can happen, but you will know, okay, what is going on, okay, how they are connecting, what is the key parameter that you need to look at in the new product even after 1 to 2 years. This is also one of the major objectives that I have not listed, but this is also one of the major objectives that I have in making this video. So how to get one on your server? Okay, the question is this, the burning question. Okay, how to get a large language model on your own server? There are two ways. Okay, the first and foremost is to actually download the entire model. There is the Alpaca 7B model that I'm talking about, was developed by Stanford, and I will also be showing those details in the next video. And in this video, I want to concentrate on giving you the overview. Alpaca 7B or Llama 7B model is available in Hugging Face Hub. So that is one of the open source location where all the researchers keep their models once they research, that we can download by using the commands that I have shown here: git lfs install and git clone. So that is the first step. So if you are new, if you want to get your hands on the model, yes, this is the process. Okay, but how to use it, how to interface that with LangChain, the library that if you are not aware, take a look at the playlist. How to interface it with the other parts of the programming, that is also something that I will be taking in the next video. Okay, I have given you one option, that you download the entire model, keep it in your local server, and you work on it. That is the one model. So you will need to have a good laptop with graphics processing unit, which can handle at least 8 to 9 GB of raw data, raw parameters that is part of this particular, what is this called, the model. Okay, yes, you heard me right. Almost 8 to 9 GB of GPU RAM. So it's a huge GPU, and it is required. That is how the large language models are working. Okay, so if you are an organization, if you are a very big concern or a company, then this is possible that you can invest in such a huge amount of huge GPU, and you can do all this experiment. But if you are learning, if you are trying to understand the ecosystem, and you are not in plan of investing that much amount of money to learn, then The second option is that you actually get the model into Google Colab. It's a training area where you can actually work with the model as if it is your own model. Exactly, because it will be in your own Google account environment, and you can manipulate it in the way you want. So that is a next option that you have got. This is the major point that I wanted to show. So where to start? We start with Hugging Face. So Hugging Face is one of the website or the hub where you will see all sorts of models, not just language models. You will see diffusion models like image models. Also, you will see other prediction models like forecasting models. All these models you can actually find it out in Hugging Face. Hugging Face is a hub where you will where all the researchers, as I was telling, keep their models after they do their findings, or even they do research inside Hugging Face itself. They give a lot of services like compute services and GPU services that I was talking about. So it is better that you take a account. You open an account. It's free of cost. You open an account and start understanding how Hugging Face environment works. So in the next video, I will give a brief introduction about that also. Okay. So now we discussed about all these things, that how to get the LLMs, how you can use Hugging Face model. But you might be still having this burning question. Okay, what is actually large language model? They are all talking a lot. Okay, but what is actually the large language model, how it is created, and how they actually create all these predictions? It looks like magic. So you might be thinking, is it really capable of the artificial intelligence is really capable of thinking? To be honest, no, it is not capable of thinking. What is exactly happening is it is taking text or images as input. There is a conversion that is being done from that text or image file into numbers. Like inside the computer, everything is number, right? So once you give this text or image file to numbers, the black box, the large language model, will take that number and it will actually predict what the next numbers can be. That is all it does. So what happens is, when a lot of data is fed into a particular algorithm, so there are lots of algorithms which are used to create these large language models. So what they do is they take a huge amount of data, like the data that is available in the internet, the entire internet. They take it and they feed it into this model. Like there are data sets like Open Web Corpus, and there is the data on Wikipedia, and there is book corpus. Like this, huge amount of data is fed into these models, and these models continuously learn through the algorithm. Okay, and after a considerable amount of proper learning, these models are able to predict. Like if you give what they are, for an example, if you give this question what they are, then if you ask it to generate, it will start generating the answer. You don't even need to tell what you are talking about, so it will generate an answer. So, actually speaking, they can't think. They can blindly generate. You must have already experienced this with ChatGPT. But most of the time, when you are experimenting, you will be asking a specific question. So you will say, okay, give me 10 list of the grocery items, for an example, or give me 10 best laptops, or give me 10 best ways of learning Python, or write me a Python code. All these things are very objective questions that you're asking, and it gives very realistic answers. But in reality, to be honest, it's not actually giving you realistic answer. It is giving you generative answer. So now we saw that large language models are just a black box. Okay, you give in garbage, it will give you out garbage. If you give in numbers, it will give out numbers. And outside and inside that particular black box, there are ways to convert the numbers into text or images. That is what is happening in reality. There are lots of algorithms that help in converting the text into numbers and numbers into text. They are called as tokenizers. Okay, and all these activities are clubbed together and they are put in one place. They are called pipeline. Now you might be wondering, okay, if it is this simple, then why everybody is not getting into this? To be honest, the major challenge that we see in any of the new technology is that initially the concepts are very hard to grasp. Okay, because lots of information is given. So right now also, instead of giving you all the mathematical calculation, all those stuff, I'm just telling you in layman terms what is exactly happening. Okay, yes, this is exactly people who are really into language modeling and into mathematics and all those stuff, they will actually not accept that I am taking out a lot of complexity and I'm giving you the overall brief. But for someone who is actually starting to learn, they should know this, and they should be extremely confident about this particular idea that large language models are basically simply mathematical models, mathematical numbers that take in numbers again and give out numbers. That's all. Keep this in mind again and again. So then only you will be able to solve a lot of problem that comes in actually using the large language model. Okay, so the point here, the entire idea of this video is to make it useful. Large language model has to be used with all these services that I have shown here. How are you going to make it useful? So all these services will have some kind of text, right? You will be chatting in text. You will be talking in language, which will be converted to text again. You will be sharing videos and audios again, which will be converted into text and then into numbers. So you see, all these things are comes to the very basic understanding that a large language model works on this basic idea that it takes in numbers, gives out numbers by predicting it. Okay, so the idea of fine tuning, as I already explained in the earlier slide, that you actually improve the model by giving your own data. That also can be avoided nowadays. We can actually connect the large language models using LangChain, and we can avoid giving fine tuning the model itself. Uh, the next question: how to make them work? To make them work, you need to give the input to them, right? Because at the end of the day, they are just black box. They are just sitting there, and once you give them the input, it will generate the output. It is as simple as that. So you give them input, but how to give them input? Okay, how to frame that input? So this should be something that you need to be aware, and in order to make them work, you have to push the data into the large language model. For that, you need programming. So everywhere you see programming languages are used to push the data. They are the pump or the motor in the computer science world. The programming languages, they move the data, they move the numbers. The microprocessors actually act as the pipe. So you might be wondering, okay, what is this analogy, that microprocessors and programming language being motor and pipe, etc. So think about in a way of mechanical analogy, that how the water is flowing from your tank to your tap. Same way, the data from your laptop actually moves, from your document actually moves into the server, into your Gmail server. So how it happens? So it actually happens because of some program gets activated. Once you think in this way, then you will think about, okay, now how to make that particular program to push the data into the large language model and get you the text out. This kind of understanding is what I am trying to enforce. So making an analogy that can give you a different view about the world will help you to solve this large language model problem very fast and make applications that are really interesting. Once you understand this concept, like you are going to move the data into large language model and get a new data out of it, so you will know, okay, now what you need to do, how you need to code to move the data into the large language model. So what kind of libraries are there? So then you will search for that. So that is the main intention of discussing these points. And finally, how to use them. Using them can be done in multiple ways. So you can deploy it, you can deploy it in a server, you can have it on your own local laptop and play with it. You can take a SaaS service, but that is not this question is all about. How to use them. Use in the sense how to apply the large language model. Large language models can be, as I was again telling, can be interfaced with everything and anything in this world currently. Anything that can speak, talk, share data, create data can be connected to the large language model, and that includes almost everything which is around us today. So, from your microphone, your smartphone's microphone to a baby that is going to cry is going to create data. Okay, and everything from the sensors can be connected to the large language models, and that is the reason why I wanted to make this video as easy and as simple as possible, because there will be lots of jargons coming in. Okay, so in the future, this basic activities of large language model itself will not be, the name itself will not be there. Instead of large language model, you will have some kind of engine or some kind of creative so and so. The idea of what is that called? The file system, the file server, and the code base that we are having could be called as some other kind of a new database or some different product altogether, which I mean, the users may not be even understanding. Okay, what is this? That could be a possibility, because once all the basics have been taken away from you and you are given a shiny new product, you may not be knowing what exactly happens under that, right? Like how our LCD monitor is working right now. So how many of our LED monitors are working right now? We know that there are LEDs inside that, but do we know how it is working? And yeah, we don't care about it. But in case of large language models, we do care. That is the difference. These applications, these products are going to change the way our future is going to be. And it is our responsibility that we understand it inside out. And let us actually, take one step further. In the next video, we will be going into Google Colab, and we will be starting to work on the one of the code that I will be sharing. The code is already shared in GitHub. So if you go to this particular location in GitHub, so the link is shown here. The GitHub link is shown here, and the location, the folder is the under the code scripts notebooks. You can check the projects, and in the projects you will have the notebook that we are going to work on. So once you have this notebook, you can go to Google Colab environment. In the next video, I will anyway start with this particular video where we discuss these points, and then I will start going into the Colab notebook and start discussing. You will have a very good idea by then. The most important point is what I wanted to highlight is that please keep abreast of the technology. Keeping understanding how the basics works is very important than understanding the actual detail of the mathematical equations. That is required, but in the beginning, it's not actually required. In the beginning, all you need to know is how things can be implemented, how things can be connected. That is what is more important. Okay, how to improve and create products out of it. That is what is more important. So the next video, stay tuned for the next video. I will be in the next video itself. You will be getting all the information about how to get the model from Google Colab and start practicing it. You can use the Google Colab notebook in your Google environment and practice all the activities that I'm sharing. So that will be one of the best ways to get your hands dirty and start learning about large language models at your own speed. You don't need to worry about the cost, you don't need to worry about the API rate limits. You can start practicing on your own speed. And I hope that this video introduction video is really helpful for you. I do leave a like to make me know that okay, I am giving the content that is beneficial to everybody, and share this video with others so that they will also understand this particular large language models and what they are, why they work, and how they work. You can give this video to them if they are having certain questions. And in fact, if you are having questions, do put it in the comment. I will try to reply as soon as possible. And do subscribe to my channel. Once you subscribe, after that, whenever I upload the videos, you will get the notification on your YouTube dashboard. In that way, what will happen? As I get new information, I will be updating in the videos, and you will be getting it then and there. So uh, stay tuned for the next video, guys. Until then, have a great time and keep learning, keep enjoying your life. See you. Have a great time.